and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Welcome to Firehouse Chefs Radio, FHC Radio, we like to call it here. I am your host, Eddie Sell. And again, the phone number here at FHC Radio is 855-969-7268, 855-969-RANT, R-A-N-T. And if you are ready for an entertaining show once again, where we kind of dive into the culinary world, we talk about all topics, food, fire service, lifestyle, nutrition, and any of those sort of topics that kind of meld together, then this is your show. I am solo tonight, actually, and I have my trusty engineer, Phil, that's with me, and he's going to get me through tonight. He's in the booth. But my regular co-host, if you have watched FHC Radio, you'll know that Chef Don is normally with me, and he is actually on a fire service-related business trip tonight in Louisiana. So, Chef Don out there, we miss you and we're thinking of you. And also my firefighter buddies, they're tied up as well. So it's one of those things with the way our schedules are. It's kind of lucky when I have a co-host. So we're going to get through it. We're going to have fun. We're going to have some interesting callers. I'm actually going to be joined here shortly by a friend of mine that is the owner of a Mexican food restaurant in Long Beach, California, called Lola's. And if you're familiar with the Retro Road part of Long Beach, which is kind of it's had a renaissance, if you will, and just it's had a nice little resurgence. So there's some cool restaurants, cool shops, and a lot of cool things that are happening down there. So it's going to be nice to see Lewis here in studio, and he's going to help us kind of dive into one of the topics tonight, which is going to be Southwestern cuisine and specifically Mexican food. So it's going to be cool to have him, and we're going to hear all about his restaurant, all about the inspiration behind Lola's. So it'll be good to have him here. And as you know, before, I kind of put my co-hosts to work. So if Chef Don is not in the co-pilot seat, then guess what? All of a sudden I have a new co-host, and who knows, maybe we're going to do this every week, and it could become a tryout situation. So that'll be nice to have him here. We're also going to be joined by firefighter and chef Kip Ricks. And Kip, he doesn't only have a kind of a cool name, but he has an interesting story. He is a cookbook author. I believe he's written at least a couple cookbooks, and he actually was kind enough to include Firehouse Chefs in one of them, just in terms of not only recipes, but just something nice he did for me, and a lot of the partnerships that we've had with different firehouse cooks around the country, and Kip is one of them. So he's going to be able to talk about Southwestern cooking, especially since he's in New Mexico. And New Mexico, just like California, Arizona, Nevada, has its own kind of unique flavors, its own chilies, if you will, and just some of those things that make it really, really interesting in terms of that region. So we'll get to talk about Kip. We'll get to talk about maybe some of the differences between his fire department in New Mexico and here in California, some of the things that they do for their chow, and again, just talking about his cooking and what he does on his days off, which is really interesting as well. One of the cool things is he also has collaborated with me on one of the Firehouse Chef signature spices, and that one is called Bar R Seasoning. So we'll kind of get to hear the story behind Bar R Seasoning and how he came up with the name, what it inspires it, what it's for, and that's going to be really informative as well. So once again, the phone number, 855-969-7268, 855-969-RANT, and you can give us a call tonight. We're going to be joined by some other folks later, and again, it's one of those things. Schedules are always kind of crazy and hectic, and hopefully we'll get some of those phone calls in. We've had a great time over the last 5 weeks here at FHC Radio, and I truly appreciate the thousands of people that have been tuning in to watch us and kind of see us grow over this time. It's going to continue to get better. As you can kind of see, I'm kind of getting a little bit more used to it and trying to get the ums down to a minimum. But it's been a lot of fun. We've met some very, very interesting people. The guys here at the Rant Radio Network are outstanding, and they become very, very good friends. So it's just one other way that we can kind of connect with the Firehouse Chefs community out there, along with our social media. And the other, when you're here in Southern California and you're able to go to the Firehouse Chefs food truck events, or if you've seen us catering at some of the large fire service events or some of the nonprofit stuff that we do, it's a lot of fun. And for those of you that are not in Southern California, as we continue to kind of branch out, this is kind of the first way to do that. And we kind of hinted at some of what we're doing last week when we had Josh Hiller on here, who's going to become one of our business partners in the future. And there's going to be some exciting stuff and more news about that whole venture as Firehouse Chefs continues to grow. I also wanted to remind everyone that in the upcoming episodes of FHC Radio, we have some very cool guests coming up. Next week, we're going to be joined in studio by celebrity chef Lala. And celebrity chef Lala, she's actually been in the food industry for quite some time, and it's going to be great having her here as sitting in studio and kind of picking her brain. She actually would have been a perfect guest, obviously, with the topic of Mexican food and Southwestern cooking tonight. And if I'm seeing this correct on the screen, do we have Chef Don with us right now? Chef, are you there? Let's see. I don't see. Let's see if you're here. Chef Don, you're on FHC Radio. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you fine, Chef.
How are you? What time is it over there in Louisiana?
It's a little after 10 o'clock here in Louisiana. I just was out enjoying some great Creole food, and I'm sitting here watching you on my iPad. You look good.
Oh, very good. Well, I appreciate that, and we missed having you, and I kind of explained to the folks before you called in that you were on a fire service-related business trip in Louisiana. But if you have to be anywhere, it's kind of cool to be in an area or a region of the country that's known for some great food. So maybe you can kind of share with the FHC community some of what you've enjoyed out there.
Well, we've had some awesome Cajun shrimp, and tonight I did a little shrimp etouffee.
Oh, nice.
Was outstanding.
Okay.
Other than that, we've just been busy trying to get through the final inspection on the engine company we're picking up.
Oh, very cool. Okay. And actually, when you come back, there might be an event down in San Diego in the Mission Beach area on Sunday, July 28th. And it sounds like they might be putting together an event that's going to benefit the Granite Mountain Hotshots, the 19 firefighters that were killed on June 30th in Prescott, Arizona. So with you being obviously from San Diego County, Chef, we'll kind of touch base, and I'll give you the scoop on that, and maybe you guys could get some fire apparatus over there, and then we'll let everybody know, obviously, on the Firehouse Chefs social media sites about the event and all the specifics once they actually kind of line it out. But it sounds like it's a little bit of a last minute thing, like some of these tend to be, but it's all in all, it's going to be a great thing.
Okay, yeah, I saw some of your emails. Just give me a shout, and we'll help put it together. Now,
let's kind of backtrack a little bit for those people that are listening that we're kind of familiar with maybe with Big Macs and everything else, but an etouffee is a little bit of a complicated dish, or it sounds complicated, put it that way. Why don't we explain that for our listeners?
One of the things when you get down into the Louisiana area, those of us who are chefs, we know when we talk about using an onion and the carrot and the celery, which is a standard in our soups, in our stocks.
The Trinity.
Here in the Trinity, and down here with the Trinity, instead of going with the carrot, they use the bell pepper. So if you take that, you get a nice blonde roux, which is the flour and oil. You put it together. We used a shrimp stock. We didn't. The chef did tonight, and put some nice, beautiful chunks of beautiful Gulf shrimp in that thing. And then it's the seasoning, salt, pepper. It had some homemade Worcestershire sauce in it. If you were going to describe it to somebody, I would say it's a highly uniquely seasoned gravy that has either shrimp or crawfish in it.
Well, that sounds amazing, and that's going to be some of the stuff that we can talk about as we have other chefs come in here. We can obviously talk about all the different stocks that are out there and how to make them, and basically, we learn as chefs not to discard any piece of the animal, any piece of our product, and we kind of get to use all of it, and it's amazing how much flavor you can extract from the shells, from all the different parts of the animal. So that's pretty cool, and that's one of the things about Mexican food as well, and some of the other ethnic cultures out there, the way that we're able to kind of appreciate all aspects of our ingredients. So it's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Using the shrimp shells tonight, the chef in back just made a beautiful shrimp stock. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Chef Don, we're coming up on our break here. I hope that you can actually stay tuned for the rest of the show. We're actually going to have our buddy from New Mexico, firefighter and chef Kip Ricks. And we're also going to be joined in studio by our friend Louis, who owns Lola's Mexican Restaurant in Long Beach, California. So it's going to be cool to talk about Southwestern cooking and Mexican food specifically. And then we should have some other callers later on in the show. And next week when Chef Lala's here in studio, I know you're going to be back. And then we're going to kind of hint at some of the other people that we have coming up in August on FHC Radio. So stay safe. And remember, wink, wink, what you're also doing over there in Louisiana for Firehouse Chefs, okay? We appreciate that.
Got you covered, Chef. Have a good show, and I'll be watching the rest of the night. Looking forward to it. You take care.
All right, you too. 855-969-RANT, 855-969-7268, FHC Radio. Stay tuned. Rant Radio Network. Don't burn anything down. Firehouse Chefs will be right back.
Wow, y'all listening to Rant Radio Network. Unpredictably entertaining. Wow.
All right, parents, if you have kids in sports, then you need to listen to Kids in Sports with Coach Mike every Tuesday from 9 to 11 on the Rant Radio Network. We'll be talking softball and much more. Help your kids succeed. Teach first, win later. Coach Mike here. We'll see you on Tuesday in the Rant Radio Network.
Dirty Truth Radio Show, where we'll be talking about relationships,
marriage,
how to have sex,
dating,
first dating,
what not to do while dating,
why middle-aged women are very easy.
Don't talk about sex on the first date.
Why shouldn't you?
Don't say X about on the first date.
Why religion should never be mentioned.
And demasculate.
And demasculating men.
Alpha males.
And alpha male. Why women love alpha males but won't admit it.
Yes, we do.
On Tuesdays from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. only on RantRadioNetwork.com.
You're listening to the Mommy Talk, a place where mommies,
and don't forget dads,
can share their everyday accomplishments
and challenges y mucho más. So tune in every Friday here at RantRadioNetwork.com from 11 through 12.
And don't forget to call in at 855-969-RANT. The number is 855-969-RANT.
You can follow us on Facebook at The Mommy Talk Show.
See you then.
You're listening to What Honesty Feels Like with Christine Sawicki, that airs every Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can catch us on RantRadioNetwork.com. If you're one of the most successful people in the world, I want to talk to you. I want to know how you got there, where you're going, and who you're giving back to. So call me at 855-969-7268 and check in with me, the most successful people in the world.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home. At AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.hrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos Español.
Welcome to Firehouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. We just got caught on camera. You know, that's what happens when when Phil returns from a commercial too soon. You get to see kind of the behind-the-scenes stuff. So this is not, don't adjust your set or anything. I am joined by an incredibly good-looking guy. This is my friend and the owner of Lola's Mexican Restaurant in Long Beach, California. This is Mr. Luis Navarro. Luis, thank you very much for joining me on Firehouse Chefs.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's very exciting.
And you actually kind of have to, yeah, there you go. Stay a little close to the microphone there so all of our fans out there can actually hear you. And so we are going to be getting to Luis in just a few moments. And, of course, I briefed him that the topic of tonight's show is Southwestern cooking and specifically Mexican food, which is going to tie in with Luis's great restaurant that we happen to go to all the time. We actually went there yesterday.
Yeah, I heard that you guys were there yesterday. The girls actually have a thing going that when you guys get there, they get busy. So.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah. Well, you know, and they I don't know. I'm not gonna touch that one. But so we are actually on the phone right now. We're joined by firefighter and chef in New Mexico, Kip Ricks, and we're gonna go ahead and pick up line 1 and see if Kip is there. Kip, you're on FHC Radio with Eddie Sell and my co-host right now, Luis Navarro. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right. It's nice to talk to you, bro. I know it's kind of hard with our conflicting schedules. Kip was actually supposed to join us a couple of weeks ago, and he was called out to a wildland fire. Were you in there in New Mexico or in Colorado, or where did they send you?
No, it was here in New Mexico, real close to the house.
Oh, wow. Okay. So like I mentioned to the folks out there listening to Firehouse Chefs Radio, Kip is a firefighter and also a chef in New Mexico. He is a cookbook author, and he also hosts a show on a fire service network, cooking show. So, Kip, the floor is yours. I'm going to kind of ask you some questions, and it's going to be a real fun, loose format. And, you know, Luis, actually, with his background in the Mexican food world and the owning a restaurant, if he feels free to kind of ask some questions as well. Again, I kind of I put my guest to work over here. So since my regular co-host is in Louisiana, we're going to put old Luis to work. So again, thank you for joining us at FHC Radio. And again, our phone number is 855-969-RANT. If you have a question for Kip, or once he gets off the phone, we can tell you how to get any information about what he does. Tell us about your cooking background, Kip. How long have you actually been cooking?
You know, I started cooking when I was about in the 5th grade or so. It was kind of a self-survival. My mom was not the best cook in the world.
Nice.
And then I started watching some of the early cooking shows and kind of sparked my interest. And then I just started trying different ingredients and making up some of my own recipes and testing them on my family, and my interest just grew from there.
Did you develop a passion after that?
Oh, big time. Yeah, I've always loved to cook.
That's pretty much what usually happens. It's some sort of defining moment in you that, and I think most people that have a passion for cooking, you either like it or you don't. So, and once it's in you, it definitely is in you, and all you want to do is explore and just continue to learn more about cooking. So that's very cool. And then obviously then that started morphing into more of a professional thing with you cooking. And because I know your story, and obviously you kind of got into the fire service a little later in life, so cooking was obviously something you did before becoming a fireman.
Exactly. Like I said, in my past life before I was a firefighter, I cooked strictly for family. And then when I got the privilege of becoming a firefighter as a career, because I'd been a volunteer for about 16 years when I first got into the career, and it just gave me a whole new avenue that I could go. I had a whole new group of people I could cook for, and it was that instant gratification that you could put something on the table and you got that instant feedback. And I think as firefighters, we live off of that also.
Yeah. One way or the other, you're going to hear something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So, and then how did you kind of develop into obviously more of a firehouse cook? Because as you know, when our paths crossed, it was, basically a lot of us that are doing similar things around the country literally kind of gravitate towards one another, that in our own respective regions of the country, we kind of have a similar operation going, and it's pretty cool. And I've been able to connect with Kip, and I kind of mentioned about your books, and where do you stand right now just in terms of how many cookbooks you have, and how could folks find it, and what was your inspiration to start actually writing?
Well, I developed a bunch of my own recipes, and when I first got on with the career department, started talking with some of the guys there, and they wanted a cookbook, so I started compiling my recipes before they were just kind of in my head. So I had to go back and start remaking things, figuring out measurements, because I was never one that really used teaspoons and tablespoons. Right. I just, a pinch of this, a pinch of that.
Kip, on our screen right now, not to interrupt, but we're looking at the Firehouse Cuisine. Is that still your company, what you call them?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, Firehouse Cuisine is the company that I started that we do the cooking show and the cookbook.
Okay.
It's hosted by Fire Engineering website.
Mm-hmm.
And we did the first cookbook, and to kind of promote it, and we raised some money for the Fallen Firefighters Foundation.
Okay.
We left out of Farmington, New Mexico, and took a trip up to Chicago, stopping along fire stations at the way, and we cooked them a meal. Spent 2 days with Chicago Fire Department, and then we rode Route 66 from Chicago down to Santa Monica and doing the same thing. We stopped at fire departments along the way.
Wow, that's
and
awesome.
cooked meals for them.
Yeah.
And then met some just great people along the way, picked up some recipes.
There it is right
and
there.
And then that started my second cookbook, which
Okay.
was the Route 66 tour.
Okay, yeah. Now, for folks that are watching us at the rantradionetwork.com or firehousechefs.com, there's a picture of the Firehouse Cookbook. Farmington Favorites is the title of that one, and that's your first book.
Exactly. That was my very first book that I did.
Okay, cool. And then and the second one is right now on our screen. That is the Firehouse Cookbook 2, 14 Days on Route 66. And I wanted to thank you. Obviously, you kind of mentioned Firehouse Chefs within the book, at the beginning of the book, and so I appreciate the way we've been able to collaborate on different things.
When you and I first met, we've never met face to face, unfortunately, but I mean, it was just an instant brotherhood, which is another big thing about the fire department, is that no matter where you go, you're family.
Right. That is so true. And, obviously the post, the incident that took place in Prescott, Arizona with the 19 Grand Mountain hotshots that were killed, as folks know out there in the FHC community, I went out there to Arizona. I attended the memorial service, and there were firefighters from all over the world there. And exactly what Kip said, literally, you never met this guy in your life, but there's that instant connection. And the bottom line is a guy, just, you get it, you understand what this person does, you understand what it's like to put the gear on and obviously combat fires and face some of the dangers and the different things that we all have to kind of take with us every day. So
Exactly.
that's what's great about the outlet of cooking, of the camaraderie with your fellow firefighters, and obviously giving back to the community and supporting great places like Lola's in Long Beach, right? And I laugh because my engine company is really, really busy. So as much as I love to cook and as much as people are like, oh, my God, you're the freaking Firehouse Chef. We should be having gourmet stuff every day. And then there's the reality of your schedule and the call volume and all that stuff. So, as you know, Kip, it varies, right? It varies.
It varies, and that's the recipes that I write for the website. That's one of the things I try to focus on is recipes for busy houses, stuff that you can either put in a slow cooker and just forget about it, or stuff that you can do a lot of prep beforehand, so that if you are busy, you're not just stuck eating the same old fast food all the time. You can come home after a call and have a nice meal.
That's awesome.
Kip, on that note, I wanted to mention, and myself meeting Eddie and listening to all his projects and seeing your books here, it's very inspirational. And the reason I say that is, you guys are doing a job. You guys are doing a specific job, which entails, it's a firefighter position. And at the same time, to be able to take the time and to create a hobby and to turn that into a passion and grow something, that's really, really inspirational.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's very cool. That it's and go ahead, Kip, and you can address that because I'm going to be sitting next to him.
I appreciate it. Yeah. But I think that is kind of the life of a firefighter. We're not there for the pat on the backs. We're there because we like to do things for the community, and this is just another way that we can touch the people that are around us.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Well, Kip, we have about a minute and 30 seconds or so with you. How could folks find you, and how if they want to know more information about Kip Ricks and what you're doing in New Mexico? Do you have a website, or how can we? Obviously, folks can get to Firehouse Cuisine by accessing firehousechefs.com. That's one way to find you. But go ahead and talk about the specifics.
Well, you can find the cooking articles and the cooking shows at fireengineering.com.
Okay.
And then my website is FHPLLC.net.
FHPLLC.net.
Yeah, for Firehouse Publications, okay. LLC.net. So.
Cool. And if somebody goes to the Firehouse Cuisine link on firehousechefs.com, my site, I'm pretty sure that's going to get you over to everything that you're up to.
I would think so. I would hope so.
Real quick, I just wanted to ask what's behind the name Bar R Seasoning. Obviously I hinted that one of the seasonings that we have with the Firehouse Chef Spices is yours, the Bar R, and just tell us briefly about that before we got to go.
Well, it's just kind of the Western theme that we do, the Southwest cooking. And it's kind of our brand is just the Bar R with my last name being Ricks.
Perfect.
They just all kind of work together, and it's also our catering company that we do is the Bar R Catering.
See, folks out there, there's plenty of guys out there that are taking that passion of cooking, taking it to the next level. Kip is out there catering in New Mexico. He's a cookbook author. He, too, has a show at Fire Engineering. Kip, really nice having you, buddy, and I can't wait to cook in person, one-on-one. And in front of hundreds of people.
And congratulations, Kip.
Thank you, and Eddie, I appreciate the friendship, my brother.
We'll be right back. Take care, brother. Take care.
Bye-bye.
News in America. Tonight's headline story: Rant Radio Network. Miss the show? That's okay. You can catch it 24 hours a day. This just in: want your own radio show? Call us at 855-969-RANT. That is 855-969-7268, and you'll become the headline.
We are the Three Guys Rant with Arvin, Mike, and Phil. Coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not The Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's. The other one's illiterate.
You really should listen, then. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS. G-U-Y-S, and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what will make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we could call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
Hi, I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez.
And I'm Kelly V. Dolan.
And we are excited to announce our show Live with Aaron and Kelly is on Rant Radio Network. What do we talk about on our show, Kelly?
We talk about everything from entertainment to business and tech, and we have a few laughs in between.
That's right. Go check us out on rantradionetwork.com. That's rantradionetwork.com.
Check it out.
What's up, guys? Sports Guru
and Bud Knocker
from the Sportscast, Wednesdays, 12 to 2 Pacific on Rant Radio Network.
We got everything you need to know about sports. We got all the latest video highlights. We got You Got Knocked the Fuck Out. We got Bonehead of the Week. We're talking sports, drinking beer, and having a good time.
If you missed the show, go to rantradionetwork.com and listen on demand. So check us out every Wednesday, 12 to 2 on Rant Radio Network.
You're listening to What Honesty Feels Like with Christine Sawicki, that airs every Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can catch us on rantradionetwork.com. If you're one of the most successful people in the world, I want to talk to you. I want to know how you got there, where you're going, and who you're giving back to. So call me at 855-969-7268 and check in with me, the most successful people in the world.
Welcome to Firehouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Welcome back to FHC Radio. I'm your host, Eddie Sell. And I am joined tonight by Luis Navarro. He's in the co-pilot chair. Again, Chef Don is on a business trip in Louisiana for the fire service. So it's great to have Luis with us tonight. And I think I need to actually hang up this phone so somebody can use it later. Again, the phone number here at FHC Radio is 855-969-RANT, 855-969-7268. And it was great having Kip Ricks on the phone. Pretty cool being able to talk to him and about all he's doing. And it's cool that without even, you and I, obviously you kind of know all my craziness, right?
Right.
And I think most people that kind of have met me or whatever, it's pretty cool because we connect and we're able to really have that appreciation for people that are business owners and people that aren't afraid to take a leap because let me tell you, it's hard. It's incredibly hard. So whenever you see somebody out there that's taking that passion, irregardless of what they're trying to do, it's pretty cool. And we kind of have to acknowledge them. So it was cool that you were able to talk to Kip and say those things without just by hearing the story of what he's doing there.
Exactly. And, really I've thought of it a couple times when we sit down and, I see what you guys do day in and day out, and it really is a selfless position that you guys do, putting yourselves in harm's way and really serving the people, and the fact that you guys have more to give, you guys have more drive, you guys have more wants, and to see that from somebody is just something special. The other thing too that I was going to mention, just we ran out of time, was to see the camaraderie that you had with Kip, and the fact that it seemed like you guys knew each other forever, but at the same time, as it was mentioned a couple times, you guys have never even met in person.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right, and it's very, very cool that we're able to kind of, and especially since obviously we share the love of cooking as well. And that's another thing that literally you can kind of jump on the phone and, I don't care where the firefighter is around the country or the world for that matter, we're able to kind of call and break the ice. And that's what's cool about food, period. And that was actually one of my driving forces with those of you that know the Firehouse Chef's story. That's exactly it. Is today's fire service really reflects the United States in particular, and its diversity is now has kind of breached the walls of the fire department, if you will. So that basically enables us to learn more about one another, different cultures and different dishes that you normally probably would never be exposed to. So, guys are eating pho and guys are eating all kinds of stuff. Kimchi, whatever. And so it's pretty cool. And that diversity, again, it's that you don't even realize. It's kind of cool when you're learning and when you can teach somebody something and you didn't even really know that you were instructing them in the first place. And I think that's very cool. A good life lesson. So again, Louis, I just wanted to thank you for being on FHC Radio tonight. And Louis is the owner of Lola's Mexican Cuisine restaurant in Long Beach, California. I was telling them that you're in the Retro Row part of 4th Street, which has had a real nice renaissance. And you can kind of see, those of you that are looking at our show at the rantradionetwork.com and firehousechefs.com, you can kind of see the pictures that we have. And that's a patio shot right now of Lola's. And it's a beautiful restaurant. I love a lot of things about it. I love what you've done with just taking Mexican food and putting your little spin, your little twist on it. So that's definitely what I want to one of the things I want to talk to you about tonight, with our topic being the Southwestern and Mexican cooking. So again, thank you. And tell us about Lola's. What inspired you to open Lola's?
It's kind of interesting when I tell this story, but we grew up in the kitchen. And in my family, there was 4 of us, and I had one sibling, which was my older sister. But my father, he continues to cook, and he's been a chef for over 37 years now. And on Saturdays, when my mother would have to go to work, and we'd go to work with my dad, and we would make dressings and all types of simple, good stuff. But at that time, I told myself, this isn't what I want to do when I get older. And I would see my dad. Because
it's hard.
Yeah, I would see my dad doing it, and it just, was something that I told myself as a young kid. But it was always my mother's passion to open up her own restaurant and to really showcase her recipes that we had brought from Guadalajara, Mexico. My sister and I both being first generation, and my parents immigrating from Guadalajara in 1969.
And my mom is from there as well, from Guadalajara. So
that's probably why we get along so well.
Exactly.
But yeah, so my mother, she always worked two jobs her whole life, cleaning homes, and she worked banquets at a hotel. And one day she decided that she was going to take that leap and open up her own place. At that particular time, I had just finished college. I graduated at Cal State Dominguez Hills, and I was trying to get my career off the ground. And she opens her restaurant there on 4th Street in Long Beach, and I just see that it was a lot of work and a lot of it was just overwhelming her. So I decided to jump in and start helping her. At that point, pretty much, I purchased half of the restaurant, and that's where it sparked. That's where it ignited, was the passion to.
And we're looking at some of your dishes right now, Louis, that just look amazing. So as you continue to speak about Lola's, those of you that are watching on the internet can see some of these great dishes.
Yeah, unfortunately, when we opened, my mother was diagnosed with cancer shortly thereafter, and she passed in 2010, and that, I think, was another step further in my journey to where it really became a passion. It became an addiction to sit there and create dishes and create new recipes, and at the same time showcasing our staple items, which were the dishes that she grew up cooking. And yeah, that's really where it is today. And now, yeah, the last 2 years have been amazing. We were in Sunset Magazine. We've been written up in the LA Times a number of times, and that's just all fuel to the fire to continue to please. And really, the kick is when you watch people come into the door and they eat and they're happy. They're having conversations with the people that they're with, and they leave happy.
Right. Yeah, that's got to be that. And as a business owner and as a chef as well, there's nothing that you want to see more than that. Is just smiling faces and full bellies, right?
Smiling faces, yeah.
Smiling faces and full bellies, and that's just so true. So obviously, your mom was literally the inspiration behind Lola's, and one of the other cool things about your restaurant is your decor, and you've kind of have taken on. Obviously, you're wearing a shirt right now that has the Virgen on it. Those of us, with the Latin culture, really understand a lot of these different the art, and we're seeing Lola's up there on the screen right now as well, and Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead art, which is very, very cool. How did you guys decide to kind of use that as your art, if you will, or the inspiration behind the decor?
Well, where the location was, and Long Beach being Long Beach, it's always been very artistic. It's been urban, small town feel. When the concept was first being talked about, and when my mother finally decided to take on the business, my sister and I decided to come in and really wrap the concept, the decor, the atmosphere around us, really, which was, being first generation. Always, every summer trip was going back to Guadalajara and visiting our relatives, and at the same time growing up here in the States, having the skateboarding culture and surf culture here in Southern California, it only made sense to have the restaurant represent us, represent our family, and represent really our culture that we have here in Southern California as Mexican Americans.
And how tough, obviously having a Mexican restaurant is that can be that's tough. It's tough to be edgy and to have something that's going to be a little bit different from all the other Mexican restaurants. Even though it happens to be a very popular type of cuisine, especially in California. So how was it when you kind of developed the menu and you got together with the different folks, whether it was your family or chefs, when you guys created the menu? What did you really want to kind of, bring to the table that was different from other restaurants?
Yeah, and that's a great question. Initially, when we first launched the menu, my mother designed the menu from the start. As we adapted to the neighborhood that we were in, we started hearing a number of requests for vegetarian, vegan, and we were really kind of trying to figure out how we were going to, create that and feed that demand. And it was very simple. You
see the pictures that we're looking at as well?
Yeah,
too?
Yeah, that's my mother there.
Oh,
that's
awesome.
my mother. Yeah, that was about 2009.
Okay.
What we did was we just started thinking about what we ate when we were in Lent. And you couldn't eat it, you don't eat meat during Lent.
You can, but you got to deal with,
Exactly.
Yeah,
so we started going down, and my mom would be like, well, let's make tortitas de papa and taquitos de papa. And
Phil's in there saying, man, where's it at? You're right? Yeah. He's getting the thumbs up.
And we started really developing this vegetarian menu. And as that went on, we started,
let's we're going to come to a hard break real quick, but we're going to pick this up as soon as we get back. You're listening to FHC Radio. We're joined by the owner, Luis Navarro of Lola's Mexican Restaurant. The phone number here at FHC Radio is 855-969-RANT, 855-969-7268. Again, FHC Radio on the Rant Radio Network. Don't burn anything down. Firehouse Chefs will be right back.
What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Lazo with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on rantradionetwork.com.
What's up, everyone? Sports Guru here. Sick of looking at the same old boring websites? Well, check out thenewsportsguru.com for all the hottest trending videos and all the biggest sports news. Become a VIP for only $4.99 and get premium access to everything the Sports Guru has to offer. The beautiful gurus girls, all my biggest sports picks, and much more. So get off that porn site and check out thenewsportsguru.com.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmark, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
Hi, I'm Alex Alanis.
And I'm Alonso Rodriguez.
And we are Real Estate Rant. Every Wednesday morning between 10 and 11 a.m.
Here at the towers of Rant Radio Network.
No problems, just solutions. Be sure to call in with your real estate problems, rants, questions, or comments, and let us try to find you a solution.
Tell us about an experience, good or bad,
and finally bury the hatchet once and for all.
In the world of real estate, find a fresh perspective. There's a lot more than meets the eye.
Help us to ensure the public trust, one rant at a time.
DM Narc Radio Show is now airing on the Rant Radio Network. You've heard the three guys Rant refer to us as the Clam Chowder Power Hour. Now we get to bring our New England humor over to Los Angeles. We'll be airing Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern, and we'll cover everything from local to national politics and news. Guess what? We're uncensored too. I'm Dave. Join me and Nick Friday on the Rant Radio Network.
We're the Brothers Bear Podcast Live, and I'm your host, Sanch, and I'm always joined by
Edgar, Carlos Medrano, and this is a show where we talk about comics, movies, TV, video games, stand-up, music, and many more geeky things. Catch us live on Rant Radio Network on Mondays from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m.
That's another commercial in the back.
Welcome to Firehouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Welcome back to FHC Radio, Firehouse Chefs Radio, in case you don't know what FHC stands for by now. Again, the phone number is 855-969-RANT, 855-969-7268. You're watching FHC Radio every Wednesday, 8 to 9 Pacific Standard Time on the Rant Radio Network. You can also watch us live at firehousechefs.com. And immediately following this show, the shows are always archived, and they're put on YouTube. And usually the guys here at Rant Radio Network, they'll send out the link and all that good stuff. So make sure you can either go to the Rant Radio Network for information about that, also to any of the Firehouse Chefs social media, our Facebook pages, Twitter, Instagram. Well, Instagram's going to usually have the pictures of the wonderful food and all that good stuff. But again, you'll be able to kind of get the information about where you can find us. We are joined by Luis Navarro, the owner of Lola's Mexican Restaurant in Long Beach, California. Again, we have had a great conversation tonight about Mexican food and Southwestern cooking. We do have a caller on line one that has a question about food. So I'm glad that Lewis is going to be with us here for the last segment of FHC Radio. Caller on line 1, are you there?
Hello, yes I am. Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for calling.
Good
We
evening.
appreciate it. Welcome to FHC Radio.
Long-time listener. Really enjoy your show. And I just had a question for Lewis. I've never been to your restaurant, but I live near Long Beach, so I will be going there soon, I hope, after looking at the pictures. What are some of your customers' favorite dishes? What do you find that a lot of people order, time and time again?
You know what? We have a number of them, but I'd say that the top seller that everybody loves, and we have people coming back for them, are enchiladas suizas, and they are enchiladas that are smothered in a creamy cream tomatillo sauce. We top them with fresh avocado, drizzle it with sour cream, and you're able to stuff them with either cheese or chicken. And I'd say, people get addicted to those pretty easily.
Nice. Okay, good. All right. Well, I will be visiting soon, and we'll definitely have to try those. Thank you very much.
Yeah, if you come in, feel free to ask for me. I'm usually there. I'm there Tuesdays through Saturdays, and I'd be more than happy to guide you through the menu, and take care of you.
Very good. Thank you so much, Lewis.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so
Great
much for
show.
calling.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling FHC Radio, and thanks for being a longtime listener. Alrighty, so just kind of continuing that. I think I hung that up. Phil, is that good? All right, cool. I got the thumbs up. So one of the questions that I know that we were kind of talking about during the break that came up is, of course, Mexican restaurants are known for their sauces, right? And there's specifically not only their sauces, but their salsas. So
Yes.
what sort of a heat index do we have on some of your hot sauces? And I could tell you, going there, as much as we go, we absolutely love the cilantro cream sauce that you guys
Yes.
do. That's very, very popular. And then the salsa that you also serve on a daily basis with your chips is delicious. So why don't you talk about that for us?
Yep. As the segment ended on the last one, we've developed and we've become to where we want to differentiate ourselves from everyone. And that was one of the first ways was when we created that the cilantro green salsa. And on the other hand, we have our other salsa, which is a roasted chile de árbol salsa.
Okay.
Which is spicy, has a good kick, but at the end of the day, it's extremely flavorful.
We have a caller, and we're going to go ahead and pick up the call here on line 2. Whoa. See what happens when I don't have a co-host? We have, is it Evelyn on line 2? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Evelyn on line 2, welcome to FHC Radio. Thanks so much for calling in. You're here with Eddie Sell and also Luis Navarro, the owner of Lola's Mexican Restaurant. And we were talking about sauces and salsas, rather. And did you have a question for us? Or comment? Or,
Yes,
or concern?
What kind of salsa is the best one they put on for the salmon?
Oh,
on a salmon?
Yeah. It's a good question.
For salmon. I've had at a few restaurants, they've made salsas that they put with the fish, but there's a specific type, so you can't put any salsa on salmon.
Yeah, you know what? We actually have a special at the restaurant, and we only bring it around when we could get the salmon fresh. But we've always, we'll blacken the salmon, and we'll grill it, and we make a spicy mango sauce, and then we top it with a mango pico de gallo. And it's
right.
Yeah, and what it is it really captures the flavor of the salmon.
Well, and if I may, the thing about salmon and a lot of fish is some fish, and salmon in particular, are really buttery in flavor anyway, and it's one of those things that you don't want something that's going to inhibit the flavor from coming out of the fish. You want to be able to taste the product and then have something like a mango salsa that's going to accent it nicely with a nice flavor profile, but not a heavy cream or something where literally it's covering the flavor of the fish. Right?
Perfect.
You want to hire me, Lewis?
Yes, I want to hire you.
Oh, okay. You can
Well,
remain.
thank you.
We'll talk after the show. But Evelyn actually is going to be a future guest here on FHC Radio. She's actually, her background is Persian. but she's actually in the money. I was going to say money making industry, Evelyn, but it's more of a money managing, right, and strategy.
Yes. Financial planning industry.
And so it's actually pretty cool. The way the whole networking of a lot of different entrepreneurs out there, but one of the people that Evelyn works with, her mentor, is actually a former firefighter in the Marine Corps, and he's now a very successful person in her industry. So Dan and Evelyn are going to be featured guests here on FHC Radio, and we're going to be working on some really cool things together. So thank you so much for calling.
Awesome.
And of course, it's going to be cool to have you here and talk about your
I
your
look
cuisine.
forward to it.
Cool.
Awesome. I look forward to it.
All right.
Have a good night, guys.
Evelyn,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless.
Okay, bye-bye. Alrighty, so getting back to the salsas, I think we pretty much did you cover most of it?
Yeah, pretty much. The green salsa, when we made that one, that we never expected for it to get the following that it does. I'd say that we're known for that green sauce.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think that's what differentiates us.
I think what's cool too is for a Mexican restaurant, if you feel like you kind of want to be a little bit bad, if you feel like you want to be a little bit bad, you know what? As we're looking at these pictures and we're talking about some of the food, and that almost looks like, to me, it looks like a version of a caprese with some shrimp and some sort of a basil pesto maybe. But describe what we're looking at.
Yeah, right here actually. It was actually a salsa de huitlacoche.
Okay.
And we had it was a pesto that we created. There's a flank steak that we grilled on top. And when we decided to serve it and actually plate it, it was made with the cheese, a little tomato, and it really created a flavor profile that exploded.
That's pretty cool, and it's funny because I love seeing your dishes. It inspires me as a chef, and because I like to take traditional dishes and put my own spin on it. And what I was kind of getting at, it's perfect that Phil was able to put these pictures up, is the fact that if you feel like being bad at your restaurant, you could be bad, and,
Yes.
and you could have the full flavor, the full, fat, all that good stuff. But there's also an array of very healthy dishes. You already brought up the fact that you guys are doing vegetarian and vegan offerings.
Yes.
Which in the Mexican culture, in the Latin culture, is something that more of us need to actually get into anyway, or at least be a little bit more moderate in our diet. I think that's very, very cool. And I know one of the plates that the firefighters love is the Franny's protein plate.
Protein plate.
Yeah, and it's basically for all you listening out there. It's kind of Lola's version of chicken fajitas, if you will. So it has real lean chicken that's grilled along with grilled peppers and onions, and it's served with like a delicious salad with a little bit orange vinaigrette of some type, which is
Exactly.
really light. And see, I know it by heart because I've ordered it like
A little
50 times.
jicama.
Yeah, a little jicama. And what's really, really cool is you'll find in a lot of Mexican restaurants that try to incorporate a lot of because you can kind of go to your run-of-the-mill Mexican restaurants and you're not going to find jicama. You're not going to find some of those things that are very prevalent in Mexican cooking, although for whatever reason your typical Mexican restaurants don't offer some of that stuff. And we actually incorporate a lot of that within what the Firehouse Chefs do, because those are flavors that are great and a lot of people don't know what they are. So whenever you're able to kind of describe different flavors to people or say, oh, that's a jicama, it's kind of a cross between a potato and an apple, but
Exactly.
or and kind of let them know what those textures are that they're trying and those different things. So I really, my hat's off to you for starting such a great business over there, something that's been so successful in that part of Long Beach. And I know that you have some other things in the works. Who knows? Maybe we're going to team up and work together one day. But I do know that Lewis is definitely looking to expand the Lola's Empire, right? How's that going right now?
Yeah, we were trying to go. We had our heart set on going to downtown LA. My sister moved down there about 5 years ago, and that's pretty much where we've been trying to to get something, but we have people pulling us in all different directions.
Okay, yeah, that tends to happen when you're in business, and you kind of have to feel it all out. But I can't thank you enough for being here tonight on FHC Radio. Thanks, you've been a great guest. And again, if you're in Long Beach, California, please visit Lola's Mexican Cuisine on 4th Street. And there's also, we'll put something up on the Firehouse Chef's website and social media so you can find Louis. And I can't thank you enough for listening to FHC Radio tonight. It's been a great show. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes where we're actually going to be joined next week by celebrity chef Lala here. And obviously she has an extensive background in Mexican and Latin American cuisine. We're also going to have in August coming up, we're going to have actress Angie Savage, who's now on Sons of Anarchy, but she also has some sort of a food connection which she can share with us. Dan Nitro Clark from the American Gladiators, nutritionist Chuck, our resident nutritionist, is going to be here as well, and more great guests. They continue to pile up. We so appreciate all the support. You've been watching FHC Radio on the Rant Radio Network and FirehouseChefs.com. We ask you to join us every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Rant Radio Network. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for tuning in to FHC Radio. Catch us every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Time by visiting FirehouseChefs.com and RantRadioNetwork.com.